Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday to you. Happy full moon in Aquarius. Second full moon in Aquarius in the same month, which is very, very rare and just signals the sign of the times that we're in. We are just, things are spinning, things are changing every day. And, that seems to be the new motto is that Aquarian energy of Uranus is, the where the house of Aquarius is ruled by, and Uranus energy is all it's volatile. It's shaking things up. It's not knowing where you're going to land, and just being okay with that and riding with the storm. And that is no matter where you are at in the world, it seems like that is the theme these days. And so Chris and I and Stephanie should be joining us shortly. Wanted to just dedicate today's show to just pausing, slowing down. Like, let's all just take a couple deep breaths and, really unite in unity consciousness and show the power of intention and positive thought, and that we can feel like we're doing something both on an individual level in our own space to up level, as well as up leveling the world. And so we hope that you will join us today. And we just want to share, our thoughts on what we're experiencing and see how that resonates with you. Nancy, thank you for joining. It's so good to see you, my dear. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute, right? So we know Nancy will, be forthcoming and her conversations with us. And Chris, you probably have a very good perspective just with all of your background on how to take in all of this chaos that we seem to be seeing on the news.
It's so I always tell people that I have like dual tracks in my life. Right, I've always had the militant side, which is very, very aware of what the world is going through. That is seeing, quite frankly, the dark parts of humanity, and has gotten like real close to them. And then the spiritual side that almost puts all of that craziness into context. Not almost, it does. I think that's how I survived most of the things that I've seen and been through, is because a part of me is always bringing it back to spirit. So that was actually one of the reasons that I wanted to do the Muses show so badly, because there's so much stuff going on in the world that nobody was putting into a spiritual context. So it's so easy to look at the virus and feel fear. It's so easy to look at war and feel fear. But when you step back and you look at everything from a spiritual lens, it shows the intention behind it. That does not mean it's not horrifying. And I absolutely caveat that. So I tell you all that before I say my opinion on anything. So I look at everything two different ways. Everything that's going on right now with the Middle East specifically feels like sabotage. It feels like a direct hit on not just the people, but everybody who's invested blood, sweat, and tears into that country. And I'm not just talking about the U.S. military. There's 60 plus countries were represented in Afghanistan and Iraq at any given time. So for all of us to have given all of that, to have seen people die, to have met the people in Afghanistan, to create schools, to create communities, to create and promise this other lifestyle for 20 years.
Wow. Yeah.
And then for the military to be pulled out before the civilians were pulled out, it goes against everything we believe. Everything. So it is a direct attack is what it really feels like for all of us. And Nancy, I see what you're saying about you don't see the share button. If you pull up another tab, you can share it from the main Facebook group. I don't know why it's not letting you do it when you're in the video, but I see that too. It wasn't letting me do it either. So seeing, it's making me bleed. And obviously my husband and I are very up on what's going on. It's a part of our work. We need to stay aware of what's going on. But I mean, the faces, specifically of the women that I've met over there, that were getting educated and that were driving, and now they can't come out of their homes. And there's media going all around the internet saying that they're going to be given to Taliban, and everything that we've done for them is now us. We did that to them, and they're worse off now than they were before. And it just rips your heart right open. So
what do you think went wrong?
Oh, that's
yeah, that's the loaded question.
No, so that's why I think it's sabotage. On a spiritual level, I look at this situation as nefarious. This is not negligence. This is certainly not a military and an intelligence community that didn't know what was going on in Afghanistan.
Right.
So when I was there in 2015, we closed down a base up north. We'd been up north forever. We put a ton of money into it. They were drawing back troops. So I was up there. I helped close down the base. Within weeks of us closing that base, it was owned by Taliban, that area. The women who were driving up there were no longer allowed to drive. They were no longer being educated. We were still there. We didn't go home. We just got moved to different cities. So nobody, since spent any time over there, thought that pulling out in the middle of the fighting season was going to be effective. There's a fighting season, and then there's a down season. In the winter, they go away. They go to Pakistan, and fighting stops. It happens every year. So the fact that we did it at the time that we did, that we advertised the date that we were going to pull, and that we pulled before the civilians and the government was ready, seems nefarious. The spiritual flip of that, and I have to look at it that way, is it's calling into question, and I'm actually hearing this information as I'm saying it, it's calling into question that warrior mentality, which, quite frankly, we've leaned on for centuries, millennia. It's calling into question blind faith, blind following, and what we're willing to do as warriors, as soldiers. It's forcing us to question not only ourselves, but how the people above us, which is a good thing on a spiritual way. Because military is known for, they want you to follow. They want you to do what you're told. This is calling into question all of that for hundreds of thousands of people. And I imagine it's quite a bit like what the Vietnam vets felt when they come back. Because it wasn't, there's no pride left in it. Mm. You don't feel like you did anything good. It takes that all away. It makes you feel disposable, worthless, really cruel and detrimental to the people that we were there for. And leaving citizens behind, that's just, it's against everything that we're told we represent. So that calls into question, what do we represent? And if we can't rely on that soldier moniker, which so many of us love because it's a calling, if we can't be soldiers, what are we? That's a really good question for us to ask. Soldiers are known, you look at the World War II and I were wonderful examples of this. Charge that hill. And they're shooting down at you with machine guns. No, charge that hill. Nobody in their right mind is charging that hill. Like, that's stupid. They're firing at me. Can I go around? Can I go the other way? Like, please, like, quiet down there. You guys, I'll be here. But they train you to do that. So once you've charged that hill and they give it back to the enemy, what does that say to you? How do you have to rethink everything that you've done? So I think from a spiritual side, it's where the wake-up call for a lot of civilians is coming through COVID, is coming through Black Lives Matter, is coming through Brexit, it's coming through all of these very political and cultural issues, the military stays very insular. We can't really worry about what is going on out there because we got a mission. We got a mission. We got a mission. So when not only does that mission go away, but it fails and it looks directly sabotaged, that's a wake-up call for you in a way that the other stuff, quite frankly, isn't. They're not worried about COVID or vaccines because we get vaccinated all the time for stuff in the military. They just shoot you up with things and you don't really know what's in them. So that's not a big deal. Civil unrest. We're too busy. We're deploying. We're doing stuff to keep the country safe. But when you see our mission go up in flames and the people that we worked with, lived with, dying and leaving people behind, that's a wake-up call for that insular community in a way that cannot be ignored. So that is a good thing that they're being called to wake up. That doesn't mean we're not going to bleed through it. That level of awakening is really painful, to question everything you've ever believed and everything you've ever fought for. Who am I? What is the purpose if everything I believed is crap? And we've got, 3 generations who fought in this war.
That's true.
So it's all I've ever known. You
Yeah.
know, it's hard to fathom what this will do, but I hear it on the internet. I see it on LinkedIn. I see it on the news. Soldiers are angry. They're sad. They're completely disheartened and disillusioned. So good. Wake up and start to decide for yourself who you are and what you are. We can't trust the leaders to tell us anymore. We never really could. It was an illusion. But it made charging the hill easier. So now
Right.
we don't have that faith anymore in our leaders, and especially the military leaders. Those, once you get a high enough level of ranking in the military, you are essentially a political person. You have to attach yourself to a party in order to get promoted. The lower ranks don't have that. So there's a weird separation of the high level officers who are making the decisions and the Joes who are charging the hill. And now we're not only seeing that separation ginormous, but they don't give a crap what we feel or think or what we've bled for. So it's going to be a very, very rough awakening for a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm just speechless. It's a like you said, a wake-up call on such a deep level. And just to see the faces of those that are left behind, I don't know a single person that doesn't rip their heart out, and I don't know. I mean, what do you think will be the future of Afghanistan now that this has occurred?
I think it's going to take a couple years to get through the chaos. So if you look at the history of it, we had supported Taliban to boot out Russia. That was originally how they came into power. And they were the official government. They were recognized. After 9/11, Al-Qaeda, who some of them were from there in Pakistan, went back to Afghanistan. And we said, all right, give them up. We want them. And the Taliban said no. So that is how they really became. I mean, that's a very watered down version, but that's how they became a terrorist group versus a government that we funded and equipped.
Wow, the irony.
Oh, so it shows you that the leader's not paying attention to history, because what happened with Russia is the same thing that happened with us. You can't maintain a hold of that country. When Russia left, they left equipment, which is the equipment that was used against us when we were fighting over there. When we left equipment, which will be the equipment that will be used against us and whoever goes in there in the future. The reason they don't bring back equipment is because it's heavy. They don't care enough about it. It's not that rare or unique. So you leave a ton of ammo, you leave a ton of weapons. A lot of it was supposed to be left for the local government, the army. And if you'll see a lot of the pictures, and my husband points this out all the time, we've trained up the Army for the last 20 years. So you'll see the way they're holding their guns, they have their finger outside of the trigger well. It's a very specific way that our guys are taught to carry their weapons. So they're seeing these pictures of Taliban using SF techniques and carrying SF weapons. These are the people they trained. These are Army that they trained, that transferred over their loyalty. And I'm not knocking them because they were going to die. Their families were going to die. But we have now trained a whole new level of adversary. So it's going to get worse there before it gets better. And I honestly think it's going to be the world as a whole, not militaries, that are going to help the people. And you see it in a couple small groups. Groups are asking for, there's some defense contracting groups. Anybody who's got a plane, really, who's willing to go over there, pick up civilians, and take them out. They're moving. They've got people in India. They've got people in the UK. France has gone in and picked up some people. We've picked up some. And if there's any groups out there who are watching this, my husband and I will go in and help in a heartbeat. And we know a lot of other people who will too. There's not a single soldier I've met who would not be willing to go back in there and help.
That is amazing to hear.
This is not what, it's the antithesis of who we are.
Right.
And we all feel super, super helpless.
Yeah. My closest friend is from Afghanistan and had gotten out with the Russia invasion. And so it's just, it sounds like it's touching you and I, especially deep, just to hear the stories and to hear the screams and just feel so utterly helpless, So I applaud you for putting that out there, that to shift our perspective, that there are things that we can do no matter how far away we are. And, whatever our level of involvement is, even if today we just gather together in a few moments of, quiet, intended prayer for peace, which we intend to do meditation and some specific biofeedback frequencies for global healing, for, just help, just guidance, just peace, just love, just whatever we can do to up-level just the global frequency. I mean, a lot of us that are tuning in today are especially sensitive types, sensitive to shifts in energy. And I can't tell you the heaviness, just global heaviness that I have felt, especially this last 2 weeks. It's just been so intense. It's like I can talk to people and I can even just feel that people all over are just at their breaking point, and I had gone to church last weekend for the first time in a long time. And I loved the message because the preacher was explaining, he said, because we're so globally connected now, everybody feels this pressure and this weight that we literally have to hold the entire world in our hands. And we can't do that. Like, that's why people are literally breaking at this point. So he was trying to, explain that at this point, the best thing you can do is to focus on your space, your energy, just keeping yourself, up-leveled and, in a healthy space as possible, because as you do that, then you influence the people next to you, and up-level them, and kind of spreads out. We just have to show this, because I think that it's so important that you get recognized for your bravery, Chris, for all that you've done. And I mean, Chris is just leading, the future of warrior souls, even people that have not served in the military. There's warriors all over that can help in different ways. Chris, maybe you can give some examples, like you said, donating your time, donating money. Do you have any other suggestions?
Tapping into the energy. So absolutely, there are going to be groups out there who are going to be taking donations to help resettle refugees, to get refugees out of there. Specifically, you'll see like the soccer team, the female soccer team, which is trapped there now, and all these other groups that are calling out on the internet to help. If you are so called, I'm sure there are groups. I don't know them. If anybody does have any groups that are working on this, please post their information in the chat group. I think mostly it's tapping into the energy of the globe right now. And it's definitely not just Afghanistan. Unfortunately, Africa has a ton of stuff going on. We've got South America still has a ton of stuff going on. Haiti got hit by an earthquake, a massive earthquake. The world it might not physically be shifting, but it's metaphysically shifting. So tapping into the energy of that higher plane and bringing calm into your own sphere and allowing your resonance to balance out with the resonance of the planet will help to raise the field of everybody around you. It's like adding your light to the darkness. So what is that? And please, if anybody hasn't seen the 6th Harry Potter movie, mute this now. At the end of, I know, I like my movie references. At the end of Harry Potter, Dumbledore dies. And all of the teachers raise their wands and a light appears at the end of the wand and shoots up into the sky. And then the students come and they raise their wands. Each one makes a greater and greater light until it was able to banish the darkness.
I love that.
So that's what we need right now. And I love Harry Potter. God, she was so good. That Rowland's chick. She has a gift.
Well, she appeals to no matter what age you are, wherever you're from. And, we all want to believe in magic, right? And we all want to believe that the light and the love can ultimately win. And we know it deep in our hearts because we are all linked in unity consciousness. I mean, it's been proven, and that's what we're all about on this show, is trying to bring awareness of that. That is the most powerful weapon in the world. And that's why, there's been so much energy towards keeping us separate and, breaking up community, right? Because, we would be invincible. If even 10% of the, world could come together at any one time, it would just be, like you said, like the Harry Potter. I love that.
I think that's what, and I keep saying that's the reason that everything feels like it's crumbling is because it's forcing us to pay attention and to decide how we want to respond to it. And, I was looking at Nancy's comment about turning off the news. I've done that for years, having a hard time watching the news. Now I get the headlines from my husband because he's a crazy person. But when I read that, I got a new download or twist on that. So when I had my first vision of what I wanted to do spiritually, this was when we were in Emily's class together. I saw myself standing at the end of a beach, looking out at the water, which was building up this massive tsunami wave. And I was standing there against the water, just waiting for it. I knew that was part of my mission, was to stand against this tidal wave. As I kept meditating on it, more and more people joined me. And I realized part of my mission was to help recruit an army of people to stand against the tidal wave. This is not the time for us, especially those who feel called to that or who that resonates with. This is not the time for us to shy away from what's going on in the world. It's not the time for us to not be aware of what's going on in the world. It's the time for us to stand up against the chaos, not getting blown down by it, but stand up, recognize it, and just use your resonance, your badass warrior resonance, to stand firm. You have multiple ways of dealing with all of this. We can move to the woods and meditate and get into our own bubble, or we can become active spiritual warriors and stand up against the chaos. So maybe, at least for the immediate, not shying away from the news, or not from, and I don't like the news, the reporting groups, because they're They all got agendas, but not shying away from what's happening in the world. Understanding what's happening and witnessing it and being able to raise your energy anyways. That's what a warrior does. Like, I see what's happening in Afghanistan. I'm gonna raise my energy right now, just thinking about it.
And raise your energy in purposeful, intended, loving way, because there's so much anger right now. Like, everywhere I turn, every single day now, I am just bombarded with such anger. And it's like anger that, where is it even coming from? You know what I mean? Like, it's just anger for the purpose of anger. It's deep frustration with everything that is going on, and it's exhaustion, and it's all of that. And there's no judgment when I say that. I'm just observing, but just think of the power in that energy, and like you said, if we can just shift that perspective to raise that energy, that alone will have a significant impact.
Absolutely. It's hard not to feel helpless. It really is, especially when, like, frankly, we've been conditioned to feel helpless, especially over the last decade or so. And we were talking about this just over a chat the other day. We have been conditioned over the last decade to pick a team, pick a side, find no compromise with the other side, and to really feel that if your one vote, your one voice had no effect. It meant nothing. It didn't matter how much you cared about it or how much you prayed on it or worked for it. It didn't make an effect. And we're constantly thrown this image of us versus them. And you've got to be part of a group to make any kind of, I don't know if I'm explaining this right. So, like, the Trump and the Hillary Clinton thing, they're so polar opposites. And I would say that nobody agreed with everything either of them were saying, but you had to have a team. Otherwise, you were an outlier. And once you assigned yourself to that team, now you had the voice of Trump or Hillary. And you can't have those two people being together because they can't find compromise. There's no compromise. We've been shown this in so many different ways over the last decade that we've become conditioned to joining a party and not listening to even our own truths anymore, and thinking that as our own truths, our own intelligence does not matter as much as the party line, the party message, whatever that looks like, vaccinated, unvaccinated. None of these are issues that define a person. They just aren't. They're something we think, something we believe, something we root for. It has nothing to do with who we are on the inside. But we've been trained not to listen to that, and we're not even looking for that in each other anymore.
Exactly.
So that's another time. We're aware of it. The vaccine, the boosters, all that stuff scares the life out of me. So just thinking about it, I'm just going to raise my vibration. It doesn't change the fact that I care about it. I'm just adding that to another light. Absolutely. We have been slowly conditioned to separate ourselves from each other, which is a brilliant way of control, because now we can't reach out to each other for help.
Mm-hmm. Nobody trusts each other anymore. Right. And now we're realizing on a massive scale that we can't even trust that, the powers that we rely on are going to be there for us. It's just playing out right in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
And
you look at the grocery shortage, just something as simple as that, when they shut down the stores and we couldn't get toilet paper. Seems so simple, but the government was not there to help people in those times. People that couldn't work, couldn't feed their families, couldn't get a hold of just simple little items. So why would they be there for something bigger? It's not that they ever had the power to be there to really support society. Society runs on illusion, the illusion of control, the illusion of that big bad power. But flipping that lens spiritually, again, it's the opportunity to say, how do I want to respond to this as a spirit, as a divine being? I'm not going to change the way the third dimensional world is working. In fact, it's working for a reason, or not working for a reason, however you look at it. So how do I respond to it? I can't
And you
stop.
get that choice in any moment. And even if you feel like you made a bad choice the moment before, you can choose again. I mean, that's the beauty of every day is a new beginning, right?
And Nancy, I feel it the exact same way. It's like, it's not just, it's so much bigger than a physical distance. We're not hearing each other anymore. We're not connecting with each other on such a strange way. Compromise, commonalities. What do you think? We used to be able to be friends with somebody just because we had one thing in common. Now we have to have everything in common or we can't speak to each other.
Yeah. Families are being broken up. I mean,
Yep.
literally, friendships, it's so true. It's just devastating. And I can't help but think years from now, when all, some of this is behind us, the regret in people's hearts, for rash decisions and choices made out of fear or anger or, some of the more, negative emotions. It's just, it can be overwhelming and heartbreaking, and again, especially for sensitive types. And the reason that the people that are sensitive, it's because we are tapped into the greater cosmic rhythms, if you will. We feel things for a reason. We feel things so that we can be the ones to respond and shift and, be at the forefront of monitoring, fluctuations in energy and community and health and well-being. And so I know the first instinct is to want to take the covers and go over your head, because I can't even tell you how hard it was for me to just get out of bed this morning.
Yeah.
I've noticed this last week, it's literally now taking me, I'm embarrassed to say, but it's taking me about an hour from the time that I open my eyes to somehow find the energy, because there's something about when I'm horizontal, it just has this feeling of like, okay, things can pass over me. I'm okay. I'm safe, but when I sit up, it's like everything kind of hits you, so I'm just sharing that because I know there's probably a lot of other people out there that are feeling guilt or shame, about having, similar type of experiences. But you know what? Pat yourself on the back for getting up, right? For getting out of bed, for going to work, for moving things forward. Like you said, the grocery store shelves are getting empty in some spaces because people just don't have the energy to, move into their jobs and the distribution cycles and the things that need to happen. And we've been doing this now for what? A year and a half, close to 2 years.
Yeah. And
I kept thinking, like a lot of us, 2020 was a freaking nightmare. And I think we all thought, okay, just get through the year. It'll 2021, it's all going to be, okay. And now I'm talking to people and we're all agreeing 2022 is probably not going to be much better. We just have to accept that, like we said, this, Aquarian energy, we are full on, in the age of Aquarius now. But you know what? From my astrological perspective, Aquarius energy is really about taking the power back to the people. And it's about self-empowerment. And Nancy's saying, yeah. Thank you, Nancy, because it helps me to know that that's the thing with this separation. We all start to feel like there's something wrong with us, and so I love that we can get on and we can, I love whoever said that.
I think it's Elise, and you're
Elise too.
Absolutely not alone.
And that's okay, because you know what? Sometimes we do have to just rest up. And that's what I loved about that message, that when, that preacher was saying, it's okay to admit that sometimes you can't take the weight of the world. You have to just pull back and go, okay, what can I control? What can I empower? Okay, that can be myself. Maybe I'm going to do something healthy for myself today, to feel good. And somebody had commented earlier about, sometimes things have to crumble and they have to break down for you to really be able to get a clearer perspective and claw. That way, when you claw your way out, you know who your true friends are. You gravitate towards people that aren't stuck in that judgmental, like you said, us, them. Are you with me? Are you against me? No, like we're all, of the same stardust. Like there's no difference.
Like none of the above.
None of the above.
None of the above.
And like you said, with what's playing out, in other countries, in Afghanistan and Africa and Haiti, I mean, you see those people suffering and your heart connects with that, no matter what the color of your skin or your religious beliefs. I mean, people are getting slaughtered right now, just for religious beliefs in Afghanistan, and I'm sure a lot of other countries. And it's just, why are we repeating these patterns, like these historical patterns? Have we not learned that we are all of the same source? And so we were thinking, Chris is one of our greatest meditative facilitators. I don't know what the title is, but she can do meditations like nobody's business. And really all meditation is just, like I said, taking some deep breaths and just turning your focus inward, turning your focus to your heart space, okay? Like nobody else right now. We just want to spend, the next 15, 20 minutes, and we just want to really fill you up with love, with light, so that we can maybe just take a minute of silence and just send that out into the world. And Chris, it was interesting while you were talking, I felt compelled to pull a card from one of my most favorite decks. It's the Akashic Tarot, and Chris and I come together under the way we met was through training for the Akashic, the Akash, basically that state, that dimensional place of complete non-judgment, unconditional love, and the space of all knowing. You can call it source, the divine mind, but it's basically just about going inside, connecting with the highest level of vibrational thought that you can access, and being held in that space so that you can get clarity on whatever it is that you are feeling lost with right now. Of course, we can send loving energy to Henry. You know what, Nancy? Nancy knows I was on a retreat in Mount Shasta last week. That's why I've been a little bit offline here in the Muses group and on my Facebook page. And you guys, I live in Seattle, so I'm familiar with the West Coast. Last couple of years has just been horrendously, plummeted by fires. But I had to fly into Reno, and then it was a 3-hour drive to Shasta. And I have never seen such massive, widespread. It was like I was completely surrounded 360 degrees by fire, just the earth singed. It was so smoky. And yeah, Chris, she came to Seattle last year when we were, we were in such smoke for a month.
It looked like the apocalypse, red smoke. You could not see boats. You could not see the water. It was
the sun was red. Remember?
Yes, it was freaky.
Yeah, it's like blood red. So I literally drove through that for 4 hours, not finding any, reprieve. And then I had to drive another hour to pick somebody up because the cat that's on the show couldn't even fly into Reno because there was so much smoke, though she has compromised lungs. And so I had to drive north. Again, the fires just kept going. And so it's everywhere. So you're right, Nancy. Yes, to the earth, to Gaia. We're just sending love and light and peace and prayers. I wondered how it was going to be. Yeah. You know what was sad is half of Shasta was on fire. So I'm in on Mount Shasta, and I can't even see the mountain before me. That's how smoky it was.
Wow.
And chaotic. You know, we went for this spiritual retreat to come together to elevate unity consciousness. But when you go to an energy vortex, you experience energy amplified, right? And Mount Shasta is known to be a very powerful energetic vortex. And so we went during Lionsgate, which is, an open portal. And if you would have experienced the chaos of coming and going, and just to Chris's point at the beginning of the show, I mean, we are in flux. We are in flux. People were getting triggered right and left. And these are high level people that do, work on a committed daily basis. And, to Chris's point at the beginning of the show, when you step back from that and you go to that 30,000 foot view, you can see that chaos and that triggering is needed to shift. But when you're in it, it can feel very overwhelming, and you can just sort of put the covers up. Nancy said she'd have to stay inside and just to breathe. Exactly. But you just see that everything is in flux right now. And, especially today, today I felt it very strongly. And then I go, oh yeah, it's the Aquarius full moon. So just to warn you, I mean, I had a nurse friend that worked in an ER for years. And she said, oh, if people think that's a joke, that the, full moon brings out the crazy, it does. Cause they could document it like clockwork. So, things are going to feel probably intense today, going into this week. But I was going to say, while Chris was talking, I was going through the cards and just asking, God, please give us a message of what we need to hear right now. And interestingly enough, the card that I got was Archangel Raphael.
Healing.
Which anybody is familiar with the archangels. Raphael is the archangel of healing. And how beautiful is that divine healing presence is making itself known right now, that you are not alone. You are never alone. If you feel like everybody is against you, you join this group, because we will hold that space of non-judgment and unconditional love that the Muses was based in and on, and that's our platform. And I just thought that was absolutely beautiful. So with that being said, I have programmed, I have complex biofeedback program that works with frequency, hertz-based frequency. And so I have programmed in 15 different frequencies, all based on global healing.
That's some disturbing stuff, Nancy.
Oh, they rip out their eye. Oh my God. Oh, isn't that amazing, Nancy? See, that's the thing. It's like people, sometimes people go, oh, this energy talk, it's so woo-woo. I can't relate with it. Yet
Where's the proof?
Yeah, where's the proof? Those are the same people that are like unconsciously reacting to, the background frequency, and they don't even see it. They're, it's all about awareness. I bet you could tell some stories, Nancy. So I just wanted to let you know, I'm going to be playing that biofeedback softly in the ground while Chris takes us into a few minutes of meditation. And then when she's done, maybe we can just listen to the biofeedback so that we have some space and time to go, within and manifest our own creative wishes and desires for the world, for humanity, and for ourselves specifically. I need some biofeedback too. I know, Nancy, it's bad, Nancy, when I don't even have the energy to come on. And I meant to come on Wednesday, and it was such a horrific day. I couldn't even do my Facebook Live. I'm human too, so we're doing it today, Nancy. We're doing it big time. So, Chris, I will hand it over to you. I just wanted to explain what was going to be happening.
So what we're going to do, based on the cards, we're going to open up the Akashic records for the world. We'll open it up. I'm going to relax the body. We're going to do a quick body scan just to relax. We'll open up the records, which is 5 phrases to open up the records. You can follow along. So I will say, with this Om, I relax my body, and then you can Om. When we get to the end and we ask to open the records, you can say your own name out loud if you choose, or you can just sit there quietly and have your eyes closed. It will work either way. So let's follow along and let's see where we go.
And can I just add for anybody out there, the reason that we Om is the frequency of the earth that the earth resonates at. And so it's not anything woo-woo. It's just a way of tuning in, to a resonance and a higher level vibration.
All right. So everybody just close your eyes. Take a couple deep breaths. What we're going to do, we're going to start by taking a couple deep breaths in through the nose and let it sigh out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's begin by grounding a cord of energy into Mother Earth. Feel the golden light of your solar plexus lighting up with this golden angel energy. Feel that golden light move down through your body, down the soles of your feet, down into the earth. Visualize this golden cord through the energy levels of the earth, through the soil, through the crystal caverns, through the water core, all the way to the center crystal. This womb crystal represents Mother Earth. Send down your love, your fears, your stress. Feel all of it pass down through this cord into the heart of Mother Gaia. Visualize this crystal absorbing all that energy and transmuting back beautiful emerald green love. The heart of Gaia continues to pulsate and transmute any fears or doubts, sadness, weakness, guilt. She absorbs it into her heart and creates unconditional love, which filters back up through this golden cord. Feel as that energy moves up through your soles, up through the legs, continuing up through your heart space where it sits and cycles through your heart chakra, magnifying that beautiful green energy with energy of earth. Feel how strong Mother Earth is. Feel her courage, her passion for life. and her true belief that we are all divine. Allow that energy to pass up through your throat, up through the third eye, as it busts out of your crown, that green energy passing all the way back to the beginning. Feel that cord connecting now to the above, the energy of the angels, of our guides, of our higher self, all the lives past, present, and future. Feel as that connection solidifies, balancing you with the above and the below. With this balanced energy, we will open the Akashic Records. With this Om, I relax my body. Om. With this Om, I relax my mind. Om. With this Om, I release my ego. With this Om, I call in light. And with this Om, I open the Akashic Records for Christina Alicia and the world. Sit in this energy as you feel yourself shift into the space of the Akash. Feel yourself coming home to this place of wisdom and knowledge. We're going to call Archangel Raphael and ask the Archangel of Healing to please be with us, to merge with us now in the space of the Akash. Visualize Archangel Raphael as he moves towards you in this space. Feel the energy of healing and love as he gets closer, merging with the energy of your higher body. Thank Archangel Raphael as his healing energy penetrates through the higher self and down into the physical body to ease all of the worries and the pain, to release tension, to detach any karmic lessons or ties to the past that no longer serve us. With his energy, we are washed clean, refreshed, renewed. We ask that Archangel Raphael merge with us now as we move through the Akashic records to the space that shows Mother Gaia. As we move to this space, we see planet Earth from a far distance, the beautiful blues and greens, white patches of clouds as it moves across her surface. So calm, so vibrant. Now visualize a golden net that crosses outside of her surface, covering every inch in this beautiful sacred geometrical shape, a grid of light. With our energy still merged with Archangel Raphael, we send that healing energy and that unconditional love down into the grid. You see as your energy connects, making the grid shimmer, glow brighter, passing through this web like a ripple of water. With each soul that attaches to the grid, those ripples become faster, more vibrant, sending cascading ripples of energy down into the planet. Pure unconditional love and healing passes through the air from this grid, through the molecules of water, down into the animals, the plants, and all the way back down into the core of Gaia, where we link this beautiful grid, the Christ consciousness grid, into the heart of Mother Gaia. We ask her love to strengthen this connection in this grid, to raise the vibration of all living beings on the planet at this time. You feel as this combined energy moves through the world, programming love into the water, into the animals, into the food that's eaten, into the very wind. This beautiful flower of light connection touches, binds, and supports each being on the planet. We continue to send love through this grid to every being. We carry each other in times of weakness. We support each other when we're suffering. See the connection of beings as the truth for what it is. We are one. And together, we raise the vibration of all. Now continue to sit in this energy as we listen to the beats quietly. Feeling them move through your body. And it's almost time to come back into your bodies. Thank Archangel Raphael and Mother Gaia for their love and their support on this evolution. If you wish, you can stay merged with them throughout the day, raising the vibration of the people around you. And we promise to connect to this energy of love. Anytime we feel fear or doubt, this feeling of joy is there for us. And we know we are always loved. When we are ready, we will leave the Akashic records, move away from the Christ consciousness grid, and with a final Om, we will close the records and this meditation. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take note of where this feeling is in your body. This raised vibration is something you can remember as quickly as remembering where it was that you felt it. And you bring that feeling back into mind and you immediately raise your vibration back. The planet doesn't look so bad from up there. It looks super calm.
It sure does. I couldn't help but do an aura scan.
Oh, cool.
Look at that. Just wrapped in beautiful purple, transmutive energy. It just goes to show the power of meditation and intention. And everybody's just saying thank you. And we say the same back to you, because it takes a village. And that's what we're realizing, right? Through all of this strife, is that, no one can save the world on their own. It takes all of us coming together. And we so appreciate every single one of you that tune in and give your time, and help us honor, this planet that supports us in such a beautiful way. Oh, yeah. So beautiful what Nancy's saying. Yes, exactly. One big group hug. What a beautiful way to close things out with that visual. Thank you so much, Nancy.
Group hug to Gaia.
Yes. Group hugs.
And all of us that are on here for this awesome experience.
Exactly. And Melinda, we are so blessed to have you on today, because Melinda is just the exemplary example of being an angel on earth and allowing her to lead with her heart. And so when you say coming back to oneness, I have no doubt that that made a ripple effect around the world. So thank you. Thank you. Please share this out. If you ever have thought about sharing out one of our shows, I feel like today is a day to do it. Let's keep amplifying this energy. Like we said, it's a full moon. Things are amplified, so we might as well make it as lovely as we can possibly make it, right? And we'll be back next week, same time. Tune in at 10 Pacific time and 1 Eastern time. And we are sending you so much love and light today, and wishing a beautiful week upon us all. We'll see you all next time. Bye for now.